channel. Today, we are going to study one of Shakespeare's beautiful poems, The Seven Ages of Man. It's basically his take on how we grow up, grow old, and play different parts throughout our lives. And don't you worry, we are making Shakespeare easy peasy. Image that is visible on the screen is a pictorial representation of the gist of this poem. So, this poem is from one of his plays, As You Like It. Like, do you ever feel like life is one big performance, like you are constantly playing different roles? Well, guess what? Even back in Shakespeare's time, people thought the exact same thing. And now it's time to look at our author. Can you identify who this man is? Of course, he's very famous. This is William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor, widely regarded as one of the greatest writers of the world. He is known as a bard of Avon. His works include 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and two long narrative poems. His plays have been translated into every major living language and have been performed all over the world. The characters of Shakespeare have stood the test of time. So, William Shakespeare was an English playwright. Playwright means the one who writes plays, okay? Plays, one who writes plays. And so, William Shakespeare was a famous English playwright, then poet and actor. Poet means one who writes poems. So he wrote plays and poems. He was also an actor. He was also good at acting. Widely regarded as one of the greatest writers of the world. He is one of the greatest writers of the world. We all have studied about him. We all have heard about him, right? So he is known as a Bard of Avon. His other title is Bard of Avon. His works include 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and two long narrative poems. So, our famous Shakespeare, he wrote 37 plays. Plays means what? Just like dramas. Okay, dramas. He wrote 37 plays, 154 sonnets. Sonnets means small poems. Small poems that actually have a particular structure. But we are not delving deep into that. Just we can understand that sonnets are small poems. So our Shakespeare wrote 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and two long narrative poems, and two long poems, 154 sonnets, and 37 plays. Have you heard of any other works of Shakespeare? If so, do comment below. His plays have been translated into every major living language and have been performed all over the world. Like I already said that he is very famous. His works are translated into other languages. Sometimes you have studied his works in Malayalam, sometimes you have studied his works in Hindi. So his works are translated into all other languages. I'm pretty sure you have heard about Shakespeare's character Romeo and Juliet. Like if you see a couple, if you see lovers over there, normally people comment them as Romeo and Juliet. So Romeo and Juliet are also famous creations of famous characters of our William Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare, he was an English playwright, poet, and actor. And what is his other name? Bard of Avon. And now life keeps on changing. We take on different roles as we grow older. Do you agree? Like, don't you agree? Our life is constantly changing, and as we grew older, we took different roles. Like, for me, I was a baby, then I became an elder daughter, then I became a sister, then I became a child of like from 5 to 10 years, you can say we are a children, right? So I was a child, then I grew as a teenager. My adolescence was pretty irritating. Okay, I'm not getting into that, but still, adolescence was a beautiful period, I should say. I know you're also in your adolescent age. You may also have your own confusions. You may also have even your own aspirations, but also irritations. I can truly understand that. But trust me, guys, that is also a very beautiful phase to enjoy because there is no turning back in life. Okay. And so now, what happened to me? I passed my teenage. Now I'm in my 20s, my teenage. Okay, that's also very beautiful phase. Think of your life so far. So I've told you about my life. Now, what about your life? What role do you have played and what stage of life do you think you are in now? Probably you are in your adolescence. Okay, let's see Shakespeare. Let's see how Shakespeare describes the journey of life. Now, here are some words and meanings. Just skim through this. We'll be dealing deeper into these words as we move further. So, now let's delve deeper into the poem. So, it starts with a very famous line: all the world is a stage. Let's begin. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being seven ages. So, what does Shakespeare say? What does that mean? Let's break it down. Okay, all the world is a stage. Think of this world as a theater where you can see movies, or back in Shakespeare's time, we can say, think of a theater where you can watch dramas or plays. Okay, so Shakespeare is comparing the whole world to a stage where life is happening, and all the men and women are merely players. What? We are players? Okay, so Shakespeare is comparing all the human beings on this planet as actors or players of a play, players of a drama. We are all just players in this play. We don't get to write the script, but we just play our parts. We have roles to perform. Then there are exits and their entrances. So Shakespeare is saying that we have our birth and death. Okay, so Shakespeare's poetic way of saying birth and death, we have our exits and entrances. So we enter the stage of life when we are born, and we exit when we die. And one man in his time plays many parts. So he's saying that you are not just confined to one role. You are a baby, you are a child, you are a friend, you are a student, you are a sibling, sometimes an artist, sometimes a singer, sometimes a dancer, okay, sometimes an athlete, whatever. You play different roles throughout your life. His acts being seven ages, and these parts, Shakespeare divides them into seven main acts or stages of our life. So, what does this paragraph mean? Shakespeare says that this world is like a stage, and all the human beings, all the men and women, are players or actors. We all have our own exit and entrance, like we are being born and we die, and one man has to play many parts, and each of our life is divided into seven ages. So now let's look into these seven ages. This is a first stage or first act of our life. At first, the infant mewling and pucking in the nurse's arms. Okay, so what does Shakespeare say here? This is literally you as a baby. Think about it. crying, throwing up, totally helpless. Shakespeare says that these babies are mewing and pucking in the nurse's arms. Not the prettiest picture, but very real. So, what Shakespeare is trying to say, so at first we are all infants, we are all very cute babies, right? We are all vomiting and crying, whining, whimpering in the nurse's arms. And this stage shows helplessness. And he says that babies are totally dependent on others, right? Do babies do things alone? No, we help them. They are totally dependent on others. We were all once a baby. So Shakespeare says that the first stage, infancy, and that stage we were an infant or a baby. Now let's move to the second stage, that is, and then the winning schoolboy with a satchel and shining morning face, tripping like snail, unwilling to school. Okay, now the second picture we get is that of a schoolboy. Next, you have become a schoolboy or a girl. You have got your shiny new face, that is a shining morning face. You have got a shiny new face. You have got a satchel. Satchel means a bag. Imagine you being a schoolboy or a schoolgirl. You this is your face now, right? You are with your bag, you are with your shining, beautiful morning face, and but you are dragging your feet like a snail, like you are creeping like a snail, you are dragging your feet like a snail because why? You are unwilling to go to school. Sounds familiar, right? Hmm. So this stage shows reluctance. So the key idea is the loss of freedom and the start of responsibilities. At this stage, you are a schoolboy, you are a schoolgirl, you are crying, you are reluctant to go to school, but still you are forced to do so. So, what is the first stage? Infant. What is the second stage? The schoolboy. Now comes to the third phase. What is that? The lover. Okay. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrows. Ah, young love, what a beauty. So, this age is about being super emotional. Shakespeare describes them like sighing like a furnace, writing cheesy poems about their crushed eyebrows. This is very intense, dramatic, and a pretty romantic phase. I know you all have gone through this phase. Mm. So, this stage shows passion. We then become lovers. We write poems about our mistresses, that means our girlfriends, our boyfriends, our partners, or like crush. That is a new Gen Z word, crush. Okay, so we write poems about our ballads. Ballads here refer to woeful means sad, sad ballads. We write sad poems about our mistress. We write sad poems about our crush eyebrows. We are writing, we are romanticizing, we are describing about our crush's eyebrow. So the lover, he or she is writing a sad song, like sighing deeply like a furnace. That shows how much sad one person is, right? So he or she is writing a very sad poem about his lover's eyebrows. And the key idea here is emotional intensity and romantic obsession. So this lover shows passion. Okay. So now first was infant, then schoolboy. This is lover. And then we go to the next phase, ambitious, patriotic phase. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths, and bearded like the part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. So the next stage is soldier, the fourth stage, fourth age is soldier. Now things get really serious. This person is not like the other person who writes cheesy poems, being romantically obsessed. Okay, this person is really serious, a brave person, a bit hot headed, and cares a lot about their reputation. They are ready to fight for honor, even it means danger. Okay, they are ready to fight for honor, even it means danger. Like they are thinking like they need to prove everyone else their value. Okay, so this phase, it is full of ambition. This is full of ambition, and in this phase the soldier is really brave. He is like bearded like a part means leopard. He's full of oaths, he's full of vows, he's full of promises, and he has a beard like a leopard, and he is very hot headed, very hot tempered. He may fight with you for anything. And what is the most important thing for him? It is nothing but a reputation. His reputation is really important for him. Okay. So, to defend his reputation, he might do anything. So, this phase, what does this phase show? Ambition, ambition. So, here the soldier is trying to prove his strength, is seeking glory by trying to prove his strength. Okay, and now we move on to the next phase, and this is a age 5, the justice. And then the in fair round belly with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard a formal cut, full of wise sauce and modern instances, and so he plays his part. So this is a grown up stage. This is a grown up stage. They have gained some weight by eating well. Okay, that is a round belly here. From eating well, the person has become round bellied, and he's acting very serious. They're super serious, and they love to share their wisdom and rules. Okay, they have got a round belly and wise sayings. Think of a stern but fair adult. Why does reading this sound like my parents? Because this stage shows maturity. At this stage, the person has a desire to give advice. Okay, now I can relate, because our parents have the super duper desire to give advice. And in this phase, they become round bellied by eating well, and they are acting pretty serious and full of wise sayings, just because they have to show off their experience. So at this phase, they reach their maturity. They have gained enough experience, and they always like to advise others. Okay, so this age is called the justice. And now the next stage, which is the old man. This is reminding me of how fast time flies and how much time I wasted in my childhood trying to be a good girl for others. I feel pretty bad. So I am not advising, I'm just suggesting you guys, if you could be in your own skin, if you could be comfortable in your own skin, if you could act like the person you are and be the person really you are, that is really remarkable. Okay, so now let's move on to age 6, the old man. The sixth age shift into the lean and slippered pantaloon. With spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful horse, well saved a world too wide. For his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Okay, this correctly describes our grandparents, right? It's really sad, you know. I am just reminded of my grandparents, and this Faces of the old man. Life starts winding down in this phase, and the old man is wearing pantaloons. Pantaloon means loose pants. The old man is wearing loose pants, is wearing his slippers, and has glasses on his nose. And he is wearing his spectacle on his nose. His clothes are too big because he lost his belly, he lost his weight. He now shrunk, very sad. His voice is getting weak, voice gets weak. That youthful glow, everything faded. The skin is starting to sag. The skin is starting to sag, lost all the youthful radiance. The voice is getting weak and high pitched, almost like a child again. No, it's very sad. Like again, they are turning into a child. The key idea pictured in this stanza is physical weakness and shrinking of one's own world. And here we can see the old man is losing weight, wearing glasses on his nose, and his voice is becoming very thin and weak and squeaky like a child. And now we come to the very last stage. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. So, this is a final stage and it's a bit sad. Shakespeare calls it second childishness because it's like becoming a baby again. The person loses their memory, they are in a oblivion, like they keeps on forgetting things, okay, and they are living without teeth, they are losing their teeth, they are losing their eyesight, their taste, and pretty everything, they are becoming complete helpless. So here, sans everything means without everything. Sans means without. Okay, you can, if you have any doubts, just go forward. There are a set of words and their meanings, a set of difficult words and their meaning. You can find it there. So I didn't want to make this boring, so I didn't repeat this. So the second stage, so the last stage is second childishness, and the stage shows finality. The key idea is a total helplessness, a return to total helplessness before the end of life. Do you remember when I said infancy, the key idea was totally dependent on others? So, in the second childishness, also, we are totally dependent on others, and here we forget everything and we live without everything. We are pretty much in an oblivion. Hmm? And then finally, death consumes us. So, here we come to the conclusion. In the Seven Ages of Man, William Shakespeare uses a metaphor of theatre to show that life is a series of stages that everyone must pass through. So, Shakespeare's seven stages of life, from a crying baby to a wise adult, and finally back to a state of helplessness. It's a journey we all take. And here it highlights that earth is time on this earth is temporary. So enjoy the max, okay? And the poem is also powerful because it shows a circle of life. We begin as a helpless baby and we come back to the second childishness, again helpless. So, what's the big message here? Well, it reminds us that life is always changing. We play different roles. We learn, we grow, and we eventually feel. It's a powerful way to think about how precious and temporary each stage of life is. So, alright, that's all for today. Shakespeare Made Easy. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments What was your favorite age from the poem? And if you have any suggestions, do let me know. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye, take care, and live your life to the fullest because you're going to fade once. Thank you.